Hello, today we have something new for the channel. And yes, I said we, but I'm not talking about my spirit guide here. No, we have Neil Trigger from Real World Magic. He's a professional magician that has over 20 years of experience. Okay, so Neil's helping me with this channel today, so Neil, why don't you tell everyone what your channel's about?
Sure, yeah, my name's Neil Trigger. So my channel is called Real World Magic, and it's all about how magic can exist within the real world. And I explain how to make things, to add more magic and childlike wonder to your life. So I mix traditions, superstitions, witchcraft and myth with modern illusions and conjuring techniques, animation, animatronics, model making, arts and crafts. I'm here to make the lives of my viewers more magical in whatever way I can, and it's basically an entertainment channel that uses magic as a way to make people happy.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I've been watching some of your videos myself, and I'm glad to have your help for this one. And if you guys want to see the top 10 magic tricks video that we did on his channel, there'll be a link in the description below. So without further delay, let's get straight into this. Here's our top 10 most haunted places in the UK.
Number 10.
Okay, so my first choice is Bodmin Hall Hotel, just outside Plympton in Plymouth. This 15th century building is now a luxury hotel, and although it's been extended, the older building was listed in the Domesday Book. Supposedly Queen Elizabeth I stayed there, but despite a plaque on the wall in the main entrance saying she did, she didn't. She actually stayed in Tavistock instead with a knight called Sir Francis Drake that you may have heard of. The ghosts range from a girl in the most haunted room, room 15, to a child in the ballroom. Now, room 15 was blooming terrifying to be alone in, and I don't know why, but it just was, but I can tell you a multiple of weird stories about this place, including when I gave a talk to guests during a paranormal tour that I did at the hall. A helium balloon from the previous event that was stuck to the ceiling floated down to a few feet off the floor and followed me around the room as I talked. It was really spooky. Now, I'd be happy to put this almost anywhere in my top 5, but the reason that it's relatively low in the rankings is because during an investigation we found some pretty dodgy EMF or electromagnetic frequencies coming from some questionable wiring for the lights. Richard Wiseman, who I mentioned in one of the videos on my channel, link in the description, did an experiment to prove that stray EMF can make people experience things that may be perceived as paranormal due to the way it influences their brain. So there's a plausible, if somewhat stretching, example. Now, the experiences are real, but because they may be science and not ghosts, that's why the rankings are a little bit lower.
Number 9.
St Brothers Castle in Gloucestershire was built in the early 12th century. It's now used for weddings and school trips. But if you're into the frightful experiences, why not stay the night in the dungeon? Beware though, there is a ghost that resides there, and he apparently has a habit of tugging at the covers. And anyone staying in King John's bedroom have often been woken up by an unseen crying baby. Other encounters include a black dog that roams from room to room, and a grey lady that travels the top corridor. But others have even said that there's been an armoured knight that has been seen about the grounds.
Number 8.
Next one is Bodmin Jail. It's pronounced jail. The jail is actually spelt like this. The jail itself is a spooky place, predominantly due to its bleak and austere interior and its links to hangings, which took place in the jail up until the 20th century when it was outlawed. The jail boasts a huge number of ghosts, from child killer Selina Wadge, I think that's how you say it, to links with the witchfinder general William Henry Paynter killing multiple witches there. It's gruesome and dark, but you can stay in this jaunty location if you don't fancy a hotel. They actually offer that to tourists, which I think is always a bit weird. The dead criminals were buried within sight of the cells, but outside of the walls of the jail, and apparently that's all part of the psychological torture exacted on the prisoners before their own execution.
Number 7.
Being built in 1145, the ancient Ram Inn has certainly gained a paranormal reputation over the years. A previous owner, John Humphreys, on his first day there, he claimed to be grabbed and dragged across the room away from his bed. He found evidence of devil worshipping and ritual sacrifices there, discovering daggers and the skeletal remains of children just under the staircase. A woman's spirit is said to remain in the witch's room. She took refuge there before she was captured and burnt at the stake as a witch, which is what gave it its name. The Bishop's Inn is a room on the first floor of this house, when it used to be a bed and breakfast, and a lot of guests would not like to sleep in this room. The ghost of a monk haunts this room, and some of the few that stay end up fleeing in the middle of the night.
Number 6.
The next one is the Wellington Hotel. This lovely little hotel is located just up the road from the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic in Boscastle. I did a tour of the museum, again, link in the description, but that one was built in the 16th century, and this coaching inn, turned into a family-friendly hotel, is one of the first things you see when you round the corner into Boscastle Harbour. Its imposing profile gives a clue of the mysteries this quaint little village holds, and more importantly, it's said to be haunted. During a visit from Yvette Fielding's crew for the living TV show Most Haunted, a ghostly shape was caught on camera, a lamp moved by itself, and 2 apparitions were seen by the people around there.
Number 5.
Construction of the Tower of London began in 1078 by William the Conqueror as a symbol of his power and a way to subdue anyone who thought to rebel against him. The spectres of 2 little princes have been spotted around what is known as the Bloody Tower. These little princes are Edward V and his brother Richard. Although it is a mystery what happened to the 2 princes, it's widely believed that they were both murdered there. Queen Anne Boleyn was also beheaded in London, and she is probably the most famous ghost that has been spotted in this place. One guard reported seeing a hooded figure in the tower, ordering them to stop, but they didn't. So he ran at them with his bayonet, and he passed right through them. He then realised that that figure was missing their head.
Number 4.
My next choice is Kitley House and Caves. As if the story of Kitley Caves wasn't enough, a ghost hotspot too? Cool! Kitley Caves, the mecca for school trips and archaeological and geological geeks, closed temporarily in 1999 and doesn't look like it's ever going to reopen again. A workman blasting in Yelpton in Devon accidentally discovered and opened the caves, and since then a number of interesting discoveries have been made, including a number of flints from either arrows or knives, a bear tooth, a 6,000-year-old human bone, and even a lion. On top of that, there are tales of local witches using the caves, and more than a few ghosts around that area too. There's a grey lady, of course, and it occurs far too often to be a coincidence in my opinion, and a short walk up the road to the Kitley House Hotel, that sports a few ghosts of its own too.
Number 3.
The Bolly Rectory was a Victorian-era mansion in Bolly, Essex. Originally built in 1863, it was later reconstructed and enlarged to house a family of 14 children. Many residents, including a paranormal investigator, experienced things not just apparitions, but poltergeist activity. And this was no exception after Rev Foyster and his wife Mariana moved in. They both reported similar stories, however the poltergeist activity seemed to get more aggressive, with glassware breaking and even window smashing. And they were finding otherworldly messages written on the walls, which defied any logical reasoning at all.
Number 2.
My final choice was the ABC Cinema, and where to begin. When I was running a paranormal tour company in Plymouth, there are a few local haunted venues as infamous as the late ABC Cinema. On December the 10th, 2010, it was snowing, and this eerie scene of silence set the tone for a very spooky night. With the BBC cameraman Johnny Rutherford in tow, who didn't believe in this sort of stuff at all by the way, we started investigating it. We caught a white shape on camera, and that appeared on the BBC Spotlight News, just as a medium predicted the ghost's presence. We heard banging from a locked projection room, saw lights, and Johnny's girlfriend even freaked out when she saw a full-bodied apparition walking up the aisle towards her. Johnny was told, in no uncertain terms by his girlfriend, that the ghost was not only real, but if he truly loved her, he'd believe it too.
Number 1.
During Victorian era in London, there was nowhere better for your final resting place than Highgate Cemetery. Many wealthy people were buried here, and with each family trying to outdo the others, this made for some very outstanding headstones and some beautiful scenery. Eyewitnesses claimed that a strange group of men would conduct their dark rituals in secret at the cemetery. There wasn't just a couple of witnesses with strange going-ons at the cemetery. The local newspapers were inundated with first-hand accounts from the public, reporting demons, ghosts, and even famously, bloodthirsty vampires. Many people have seen the mad old woman. And to be fair, I see quite a lot of those around here too. The ghost of an elderly lady, usually seen as if searching for the children that she is said to have murdered. The devil ghoul is one of the lesser seen at Highgate Cemetery, but those lucky enough to have seen it describe it as having piercing red eyes, and it will disappear when in direct light.
Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much, John, for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to his channel, it's awesome, I love it.
Well, that's all we have today, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And why not check out the top 10 magic tricks? The video is right here. We both did it together on his channel there, so you have to go over there to watch it. And I'll see you on the other side.